Stille Nacht, Stille Nacht. Hello.
Aye.
Welcome to the Book of Noel. We've got a treat for you today. Noel Diary, Book of Noel Diary. Yeah. My name's Joe. I'm the host. I'm the handsome one. And with me is Connell. He's my brother. He's the handsome one. Yeah, we're going to take what we do every year. We get 6 terrible Christmas films and review the shit out of them. Last one was a chore. This one isn't. It's the Noel Diary. We've got 3 more coming your way. They are going to be Christmas on Mistletoe Farm. We're going to have Christmas for Daisy, and we're going to have Princess Switch as well. Looking forward to those. So do join us. Yeah, let's get this Christmas bauble rolling with my brother Connell with his synopsis of Noel Diary, available on Netflix.
So after the first 2 in this series, we all started this film thinking, what a load of shit this is going to be. Like, a bit of a rubbish name. It's a Netflix Christmas film, and it's going to have all the tropes of being just another throwaway piece of shit Netflix film. And the first 10 minutes kind of lead you down that path. You're watching it and, you know, there's a bit of bad acting in the first 10 minutes and you're like, oh, God, where's this going? And a lesser man, maybe me last year, would have turned it off then and dreaded watching the rest. Like, I can't face the rest of that. But Joe had given me the green light saying, this is actually really good. You should stick with it. So I did, stuck with it. And then you go on a 2-hour romp of loveliness. And
Good, isn't it?
if you are not in bits at the end of this film, you're a hard-hearted twat. It is just lovely. So, right, this guy's an author.
A bloody
and a
good
millionaire.
one.
Huh?
Yeah, he's a bloody good author.
Bloody good author.
Last Midnight. Was it Green
Yeah.
Eyes of Paris?
Green Eyes of Paris. Yeah. He's got a series of books and it's about espionage in occupied France. Occupied Paris. Yeah.
That's
fucking
good
idea. Yeah. It's more realistic than fucking Santa's Chronicles or whatever it was. Anyway, he's a millionaire author of a series of books that are very popular, and he lives alone with his dog Ava, and that is literally the only character name I can remember. So, you know, sorry, but
it was Ellie next door.
Was there?
Yeah, I remember.
Ellie.
I can't remember that. The leads, Rachel and Jake. Rachel and Jake.
Yeah,
that's your pair. Yeah.
Rachel and Jake. Right.
I fucking love this film.
He gets a call from a guy who turns out to be like an attorney who's in charge of his mother's estate and says, oh, your mum's dead. 3 for 3, dead mum. And she's leaving you her estate. And he's not that arsed because he doesn't really talk to his mum. He's a bit like, oh, she's dead, but let's just go in. So he goes around and starts tidying up the house of all the old shite she's accumulated. And that must be a chore, that, you know, like going through your mum's crap.
The cleanest hoarder in the world.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand why they needed her to be a hoarder. That necessary detail?
She was a hoarder, but she didn't hoard the one important thing that they were looking for throughout the whole film.
And she didn't hoard realistically, like loads of newspapers from the 90s.
And she put all the dog shit in jars or something.
Yeah.
He's tidying the house and he bumps into the neighbour, Ellie, I guess. And she's a lovely older woman who falls in love with an Englishman on a dating app.
He's trying to be English, isn't he?
And he meanders through English and American phrases like a snake swimming. It's beautiful.
What do English people say? They say mate, and they say, do you say old sport or something? Or old chap? Like big old chap.
He's got some English, but then he says, I need to baste the ham. That's something no English person's ever said.
Yeah.
We need to baste the ham. That's full American, that, innit? So, you know, who knows where he's from, really?
Why?
And so the neighbour's around, and you know, in the background, she's there, she's about. There's a knock at the door, and he goes, "Come in, Ellie." The door's open, and it's not Ellie; it's some other woman. And he's like, "Oh, can I help you?" And she goes, "Yeah, I wondered if you could help me look for my dead mum." Oh, no, not sorry. Her mum's not dead. His mum's dead. Could you help me look for my mum? She used to live here.
She used to live there, yeah.
And then that's where the adventure starts. That they're like, oh, let's look for this mum.
Are you just going through the actual plot of the film?
A bit, yeah. But right, so he doesn't remember this woman, so he tells her to clear off, and he has a border collie that saves the relationship because border collies,
They're great wingmen.
they like to chase a car, don't they? Very clever beast, but thick as shit when it comes to traffic. He's chasing after this car, stops her, and then that makes him remember, oh yeah, there's more people in the world than just me, isn't there? Ellie remembers, because it's only like 20 years ago. It's not like she has to remember back to the 1800s or whatever. Your dad'll know more. And he's like, oh, don't like dad. Don't like dad. Finds his dad. His dad knows where mum is. And they almost, they find a mum and they nearly go and see her, but then they decide to rattle in a hotel for her birthday instead, which is quite nice.
Boy, they rattle.
Yeah, and it's well romantic and like, whoa, this is wicked, man.
The bit where she's decided, she gets a look in her when he says, "Get some champagne." Oh, it's your birthday. Get some champagne.
And Johnny's.
I didn't know. Butter
Yeah, he goes, "Oh, can you get some champagne up to the room and some Johnny's as well, please?" Really good, strong Johnny's.
Johnny's. And like she hears that, you take one look in her eyes, it's like, I know what you're after. I've seen that look before.
Yeah.
In films. And she puts the music on, starts dancing. They finally get off the first time. She undoes her top button and then licks her fingers and puts the candle out. Like,
She knows what she's doing.
Fire, babe. Yeah, that is something else, that bit. That's the sexiest scene of any of these films we've done.
It was wicked. And then, like, it's all like on the table. He wakes up the next morning, she's pissed off.
Oh, he loses goal.
Because she's engaged to Alan.
Mm-hmm. We get to see him.
Which kind of says it all, doesn't it? I'm sorry if you called Alan. I actually know quite a young Alan, and I'm sorry.
I love a young Alan. I love a young Alan. He's great.
It's not... He calls himself something else, mate. He don't call himself Alan. He calls himself AJ, and I like that.
What a lovely surprise to find out. What's the A for? Is it Anthony, Andrew, Adam?
Alan. E. The best A name. Alan. He gives her a lovely call. Yeah. She gets a call while she's with her mum and dad, and she's like, oh, I just got to take this. She goes into the room because she don't want them judging that she's been cross-nobbing on Alan.
Yeah.
She's like, who's it? Stop calling me. Jake. Is it Jake? Stop calling me Jake. I don't want to hear from you. He's like, yeah, but I want to talk to you. And she goes, I never want to see you again. She spins round and looks out the window, and he stood there like Jason Voorhees. He's going, too late. Too late, motherfucker. I'm going to get you like a fish.
Do you want to play a game?
Yeah. And she's like, ah! She's right scared on his lawn. And yeah, so basically he puts all his heart out. He's like, look, I love you and I want to be with you. And she goes, kindly fuck off, please, sir. So he does. I think it's all over. And then at the end, she comes, he looks over at where her car used to be parked once because he's met her once. And she stood there where the car used to be.
Yeah.
What a lovely sight. A woman in a parking space. It's nice, isn't it? Nice way to end the film.
I mean, to say it's called Noel Diary, we don't get that much diary action in it.
Yeah, the diary comes in well into the film, doesn't it? Like halfway through, we get this diary. And it's the least interesting bit about it.
Yeah, that's true enough. Do people still keep diaries?
No.
It's like, what do you put in a diary? Hello, mate, went to work. Bit rubbish. Had some tea.
Do you know what I do instead of having a diary? Just remember the important bits. Like, do you remember that time we went to Alton Towers? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you not write a diary entry about it? Nope. Why? Remember it. Big Mac, Coke, Nemesis.
What a day.
Yeah, it were a good day. Yeah.
Tell you what, the ladies are throwing themselves at Jake at the beginning, aren't they?
Yep.
That one dresses
He
up as one of
almost
his
writes as
characters.
good as he looks.
Oh, he's a good-looking fella, isn't he?
He is a good-looking lad. I'll give him that.
But he's got that kind of model catalogue, you know, that kind of model casting. You know what I mean? He's a very handsome man. She's beautiful as well, but in a kind of real world way. You've seen beautiful people like her and gone, fucking hell, wow, she's beautiful. But you never see people like him because he's got that kind of smoldering blue ice, blue steel, not the way. Got Ava at home. I think the dog's only in it so that he could say that line. I've got
the trick.
Ava at home. I've got my true love, Ava, at home. Like, well, he's a dog.
That's weird. Unless he means it and he's...
Gotta say, the woman like who's gushing, who's doing the book signing, she's gushing over like his characters. Oh, this would be a great idea. Does he? And she says, does he do this, or does he run off with a Nazi spy? And then she does say, oh, but spies are really sexy, even Nazi ones, pal, because I don't know. That was a bit rich for my blood.
Don't knock it till you've tried it.
Yeah. He's a bit of a Ben Affleck look to him, I thought. A little bit.
Yeah.
Like more handsome.
You think?
A little passing. Yeah. I went to a book signing recently, Con.
Yeah.
Alan Partridge. Alan Partridge.
Yeah.
I got Big Beacon signed. And I asked him, he's a good cut. Look at that. That's good, isn't it? That's Joe. Yeah. That's my name. I never do stuff like that, but because he was in character, I thought, oh, that could be quite fun. And I said to him, have you taken any action against you, Les? And he said, I've got to get rid of all the speed bumps first. But that was a good answer. How did you feel about the snow effects in this? I knew you'd be into it. Snow effects in this they're terrible.
I like that.
Did they only have one can of snow available?
Yeah. Sprayed it.
Let's do this frost on all the outside of the windows like it does in my house in Southern California.
Yeah. So they just go on a big road trip, don't they? From where are they? In California? I don't know where they are.
Because they go to Vermont. So I don't think it'd be that far away if they get there in a day. It's snowy, so it's going to be in the north. Yeah. So Vermont's very tight.
Big country, mate. Big country.
2 more states more easterly than it. So
that's something my dad says. When you're driving around places and you see stuff like, you know, you'll drive up to Scotland and there's massive mountains and it looks amazing. He'll go, oh, big country. I say that every time. Big country. Like, oh, nice one, Dad. Yeah, it is a big country, isn't it? Big bit of country. I don't know. I don't know what he means by it really, but it's nice. It's nice to hear every time we go to Scotland.
So you get poor Jake. He finds out in a pretty grim way. No one thought, oh, we should probably call her only surviving son. Tell him he's dead. She's dead. Lawyer tells him, oh God, sorry. Yeah, your mum's dead. He goes up to her house, and it's weird because the attorney she's got all this shit. That's Steinway's worth a few bob. Piano there.
Yeah,
get on the old Joanna as well. It's at that point he says, "Can I have an autograph for my wife? I know you're crying over your dead man's coffin, but could you sign my balls?" It's a bit like, no.
If his boss could hear him,
like the car.
His boss would have his fucking bollocks, wouldn't he?
Oh yeah.
What did you just ask him? He's grieving. He's fucking grieving his dead mum, and you're asking for fucking book signings.
Oh, a really good bit. So his mum's a hoarder. She's got loads of like face masks and a hand sanitizer and stuff. Then he goes to his bedroom, which is spotless. His bedroom is exactly how he left it. But you got like piles of books and a framed Larry Bird jersey on the wall. Books like On the Road, and a Hemingway and stuff like that. But my favorite bit, like to show he's into deep films, like French New Wave, we don't have a poster of a Buddha Souffle or Shoot the Pianist or 400 Blows. There's just a frame poster on his wall that says French New Wave.
Nice.
It's like you having a frame photo saying cartoons for kids.
Yeah. Or just like all my wrestling posters.
Yeah. What does he say to his neighbour, Ellie? He says, "Are you still painting?" And she says, "You might as well be asking if I still breathe." It's like, It's a yes or no answer.
Yeah. You could just answer me.
Yeah.
Like
Don't
an
need
adult.
the attitude. It's been 20 years. I don't know. You could have gotten into Candy Crush or something. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, you might have arthritis in your hands. I don't fucking know, do I?
But what I'm certain of is that your painting is not in any way going to come back later on in the film.
Yeah.
No way, baby.
You can't put a gun on the mantelpiece in the first act, Joe.
That's it. What's that? Chekhov's gun. Yeah. There's no way he's getting rid of that rubbish himself. He didn't get. He could afford to buy grease in his schlepping bags of his man's shit.
He wouldn't have thought twice. The amount of money that guy's clearly on, like the house that he has, is amazing. He wouldn't bother his ass. He'd be like, just sell it, sold as seen. They can deal with the shit. I'll sell it for 10% less. Fuck it.
You know what I loved about this film? And it was at this point, I realized this, I thought, hang on, this is weird. Because what's weird about this one is that it does not fit the briefing of the purpose of this series of podcasts and videos.
Yeah.
They're meant to be shit. And 15 minutes in, I thought, oh no, I like this. And the reason I like it is by far the most patient film. It keeps things simple. It does a small thing very well. I think it's a very well written script for what it is. It's not a masterpiece.
Yeah.
But just surprised by how refreshingly patient it is. Within the first 20 minutes, very little's happened. His mum's died. He's an author whose mum's died. He goes to her house and cleans her house. That doesn't sound like a barn burner, does it?
It's great.
But no one's been burgled. No one's secretly an angel or taken him back in time. No one's inherited a fucking Christmas village. It's just something that happens. And that was really great. And I think what really made it great was Rachel in it. I thought she was fucking great. Really well acted. He's better than a Hallmark actor. He's like a standard handsome actor.
Yeah.
But he becomes
like Neighbours
Humphrey
quality.
Bogart when she comes into the room. She makes everyone around her a better actor. She has pedigree though. She's been on actual stuff.
Right. Okay.
Because it would have been very easy to make her character annoying, like know-all and like not human. But she's just got this warmth and compassion. And I was rooting for those two the whole way through it. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Like, fucking go for it, guys. Live forever. Have kids in the same house.
I couldn't believe it when they rattled. They were like, fucking hell, this is it. Fuck Alan. I don't even know Alan. Alan's the smallest little part.
He means nothing to me.
And I hate him.
Yeah, usually, because you do see Alan, don't you, on a video call?
Yeah.
Usually I'd be extolling he was amazing, even though he's obviously a prick. But you're right. He meant nothing to me because I just loved them too so fucking much. Like, obviously, it still has the trappings of a shit Hallmark film. I don't think it's very well directed. I think the production is quite weak. I think if a proper studio had this and a proper, kind of Sam Raimi. What is it? Sam Raimi did? No, I'm getting him mixed up. Sam Raimi did the horror stuff. I can't remember who did When Harry Met Sally. If we had a proper comedy director or rom-com director, it could be a really great film. The script, I really loved the script. I thought it was thoughtful. It was quite not funny, but a lot of the time attempts at being funny are annoying. And this didn't annoy me anywhere.
Yeah.
So that's got to count for something. And what do you do? He says, that's a Nina Simone line. He goes, yeah, yeah. He goes, oh, the very best. And they're just going out chatting. And he says, oh, who are your other favorites? And she says all the right answers. Nina Simone, Peggy Lee, Aretha Franklin, Billie Holiday, and Ella Fitzgerald. It's kind of, I fell in love with her at that point.
Yeah.
That's a hinge date going very fucking well indeed, isn't it? Jackpot.
And she had they got to see It's a Wonderful Life.
They
in
do.
the cinema outdoors.
And, yeah, sorry, go on. I'm just
And,
enthusiastic about this film.
She like goes, oh, I've never seen it, I don't think.
That nearly turned me off her. But
And then she sat and watched it. And she went, I think that's the best film I've ever seen. At the end.
And totally redeemed himself.
It was brilliant. I think part of it was that I felt like I was falling in love as well.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, both of them.
I really bought into these characters. Like, Jesus, I care. I actually care about these guys.
I can't believe we're saying these words.
Yeah.
This is a mistake of an episode. We probably should have just watched something else that we knew was crap. But
so he plays piano, doesn't he?
He does.
And,
very well.
For some reason, he seems to exclusively play show tunes. He like goes straight in on show tunes. And there's one bit where she said she forces him into playing something for her. She's like, come on, I want to see if this piano's sounds as good as it looks. And he's like, oh, but I don't want to. I'm a bit shy and I don't want to. So she forces him to do it.
There is no straight man in the world who, when he's good at something and someone he wants to rattle, has said, why don't you do it? There's no, you might put up a fight, but inside is going, I am going to boss this. Just
I have got the key to the door right here.
You'll be eating out of the palm of my hand. And what he does, he sings Baby Please Come Home by Dinah Washington. And she just knows it straight off.
Yeah.
And they have this, she can sing and she can sing. I mean,
what do you do in that moment though, when you're awkwardly playing the piano and someone just starts singing? And it'd be weird for me that I'm like, oh my God, she's fucking singing. Oh my God, and she means it. She's doing the best she can. Fucking hell, what do I do? Oh, I'm going to have to end soon because the song finishes and then we'll have to talk about this. What the fuck do I do? And then his response is great. He like goes, something like really good or something, very good, A-star or something like that. And he's just cool about it. And I'd have been like, do you want a drink of water or something like, yeah, should we go out? Yeah, it's fucking
what's
weird.
Dog up to?
Yeah. Oh, I need to record something on the telly. I'll just be a minute.
Yeah. Bad Girls. He's about to jump that prison drama with.
Yeah. Do I remember it? Yeah, I do.
Bad Girls is on. So
yeah, it's my favourite program. My mum's favourite program.
Dare I say this? The two of them, Jake and Rachel, actually had chemistry.
Yeah,
I've never seen that in these films. They actually had a spark. You could feel the spark, and it was great to watch.
Yeah.
And they were just, it was really sweet. She was a genuinely positive. They could have fucked it up. They could have made two characters like, oh God. I believed all their motivations. When she leaves, you're mentioning, you know, they finally shag. She goes, her motivations are valid. It was great, but I need something stable. She's had chaos all her life. I mean, she knows he's a very wealthy author. I think he's probably got to be pretty. You could live in a big house, you'd be fine. But I still bought it. I've had,
and I like how all that
things
works.
where someone's gone, I'm sticking, not twisting. It's like, oh, I believe that.
She didn't know he was an author at first. So she offers to like pay it, and then she Googles him. Yeah, it's a good little way of telling that story. Because
speaks Italian as well, language of love.
They could have just left it where she was just innocent and she didn't know who he was, and she fell in love with him for him.
Yeah,
but no, they didn't. They put that card on the table. They're like, no, let's let her know that he is very wealthy, but she's sticking with what she's got.
Yeah.
Even though she'd have a, very easy life if she got with him.
She has a Billie Holiday tattoo.
Does she? I missed
Yeah.
that bit.
Yeah.
Was it of her face on her chest?
That famous picture where she's got her head cut back going, oh.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
I once saw a really funny tattoo and he ruined it. So when I used to take the boys swimming at a place near here, this other dad used to take his kid swimming, and one day he turned up with a fresh tattoo on his chest above his heart of a little old woman that I didn't, and she had like a bit of a beehive going on. I'm like, that's the funniest tattoo I've ever seen. And I'm thinking, I assume it's maybe his grandma or something, or like someone he knows. I don't know who it is.
I love tattoos of people,
But then the week after he came in and he had a bloke next to it and it ruined it for me. I'm like, oh, really? So it's just like your grandma and granddad. It was funnier just as an old woman. And I was thinking, I might just find a picture of a random old woman, someone else's grandma, and get that tattooed on me and see what people say. Like, oh, I like your tattoo. Is that your grandma? Nope. The celebrity? Nope.
Is it yours?
Yeah. Is it your grandma? Actually, yeah, I think he is.
That would be a mental one to do on a mate.
Yeah.
Your grandma.
I got your grandma tattooed on my tits.
Tell you what, did you see him in the rain? Woo! Is it just me that's got really hot?
Oh, man.
Hell.
I've written, they embrace, tears, hard-ons, the works. That's what I put. The works. I had it all.
I mean, she does talk about crossing boundaries, but then she Googled him and immediately starts leafing through a book that's fallen out of his bag that turns out to be the diary of her mum, but she doesn't know that. That could have been his diary. I mean, she's flicking through that like it's an Argos catalog. She does not give a shit.
Drafts for new novels that are top secret.
I mean, I just don't moralize about boundaries and respect when you're clearly just like the rest of us. Because if a diary falls at my feet, I am reading it. Oh, yeah. Watch out, diary writers. I am reading the shit out of that. But don't pretend that you're on some moral high ground when you're just as bad as the rest of us, please.
There was... I was thinking, right, there was a strange, like, incestuous
I thought that might be the
going on here. I was thinking, that the dad had rattled the babysitter and they were step brother and sister. And I was thinking, are they going to get together and then find out that that's their brother and sister?
Yeah.
Is that what's going to happen here? And then just you meet the dad and he goes, like, none of that shit. Dad, really good bloke.
Wasn't he? Yeah.
What a lovely man.
You think living out in isolation in the American woods, you got like Unabomber vibes. But no,
well,
it's just
he could do two things, couldn't he? Be a nice guy
and a tree with his boy.
Letter bombs.
You'd think, considering the fate of his older brother who fell out of a tree, going to the woods might not be.
Yeah, I want to be surrounded by trees.
The
murder weapon of my boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, he was the actor who played the dad. For all you Sex and the City fans out there, he was a character called Richard in Sex and the City.
We have a big overlap of Sex and the City fans listening to this, watching this.
A lot of women have watched Sex and the City, Joe, and a lot of them like that. So I'm just saying, if you liked Richard's performance, well, the actor who played Richard in Sex and the City is in this, and he's better in this than he is in Sex and the City. So there you go.
Her mum's called Noel. I had a dream about her. She rings my bell.
I was racking my brain then, like, is that like, what is that he's singing there? That's a song, right? Is it someone like Jeff Buckley? Is it?
Oh yeah.
John McClane, someone with a bit of authority on. No, it's Wheatus. It's just Wheatus.
Oh, it's such a
God.
I like that old fella who works in the hotel doesn't know what a rom-com is. Come on,
Yeah.
old timer, do me a favor.
Rom-com?
Give me one, pal.
Yeah.
Connecting
Romantic
rooms.
comedy. I
That's
like
quite-
how he said that as well. He went, "Oh, if
Yeah.
this was a rom-com, we'd have to stay in the same room together."
It's a green light for rattling adjoining rooms.
Yeah.
He takes a quick peek, doesn't he? And he sees her legs and she's reading his book. Yeah.
Dirty boy. Put yourself away. Get to
Bloody
bed.
good writer. He's like Lee Child or something like that. You know what I mean?
Mate.
Yeah.
He's like fucking Lee Child, all right.
The end. She's right. 'Cause my favorite bit of the Green Eyes of Paris is the ending.
Yeah. Who's reading a full book in a night?
Before she's finished her mum's diary.
Fucking Johnny Five.
It's like, right, the whole point of this, this film is fucking called Noel Diary, but Green Eyes of Paris is unputdownable.
2 books in a film. 2 books, 1 film.
And
That's what this film should have been called.
Last Midnight, 3. Last Midnight.
1 girl, 2 books. Yeah.
They're about to get off in that field, and she's just starting. So I've got a fiance. The dog barks, and he's chasing a rabbit, and she exhibits excellent motherhood. Get back here right now. I felt like I was 8. She did that with like a, you two, bed now. It was like, oh, whoa.
Get here now.
Will you two stop American wrestling?
Yeah. And then when he comes back, or Ava, sorry, she comes back. She goes, "What were you going to do with it if you caught it?" Another dog conversation, you know? Horses,
Her and that dog.
dogs getting
Chemistry
with...
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She knows what she's doing though, doesn't she? Get in with the dog, in with the fella. You know? Unless it's me, I couldn't give a shit whether you get on with my dog or not. He's a little twat, so there's only me who really gets on with my dog. So
That's true.
If you can
He
get on
likes
with
me.
him, fair play.
He likes me, but not when you're around. Does that?
Yeah, he prefers me. He likes me.
Got a bit teary-eyed at the dad and son hugging.
There was a lot of bits where I was a bit like, "Oh God, that's hard."
I shed a tear. It was with the mum when he went to. Cause right, I tell you what, they could have overplayed their hand so many times. Jake could have not respected her wishes. Jake, I thought he was going to use finding her mum as a chess piece against her. He doesn't, and that was great. But when he does find the mum in the hospital and he tells her everything and gives her the book, I just it's very dusty in here. Yeah,
Yeah.
it really got me. Because he could have. He does that rom-com grand gesture by turning up at her house at Christmas, and she turns him away. And he respects her wishes.
Yeah.
Now, that's good. That's good writing because you want to like the characters. But the thing is, in normal films, or other films, not normal films, like this is some kind of outlier genius. But in normie films, they can't help themselves narratively. They want some big grand gesture, and they want that to be the kind of crowning glory of the film. This didn't do that. In fact, it's kind of, you know, the last thing is the last shot, and they don't even kiss. They just see each other.
Yeah.
Like, yep, done. Well done. Congrats. Let's open a tin of roses. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, it was great. It was lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were loads of bits that made me fill up. When the dad said, because obviously his son fell out of a tree and died. Yeah. A boy, like a 10-year-old or something like that, died out of a tree. And he says, the sound of that branch cracking will never leave me. And like, it's showing you a montage of the kid falling and stuff. Like, fucking hell. you got me there. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, a father of sons as well. So, you know.
Yeah.
You can relate.
Yeah, yeah. And like,
I do like the lights that they put on their tree. You know, the father and son, you know, seeing each other after a long time, 30 years or something. And you're thinking, right, I haven't opened these for 20 years. I wonder if they still work. They are hideous. They're like lights you get outside an Italian restaurant. Like, what are they?
Let's see if they still work.
Yeah.
Don't bother. Just put a candle on.
That was mad when they put candles on a tree that's been cut down so it's dry and made of resin. What are you playing at?
Yeah, it is crazy when you think about that.
Yeah.
It's just a little tinderbox in it that you put in your front room every year.
I did. I used to work in a prison. I could leave whenever I liked, but I worked at a prison. They gave us fire safety training, and they showed a Christmas tree going. It was within 30 seconds. It was a blaze. It just madness. Yeah, you got to be very careful. Public service announcement. Be very careful. Don't use old dusty lights. When he says, the woman I love, and it says, "Tell me you don't love me," and she says, "I don't love you."
Yeah. She calls
Rachel, don't. He is your happiness.
Yeah. He's like Andy McNabb or something. He's throwing it all away.
Tony Parsons.
Yeah, she calls him on it, doesn't she? She says, "I don't love you." And she's just buying time. She's thinking, right, what am I going to do here? Because I've got Alan.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I want Jake. Pretty sure. So I'm going to have to break that off first. I can't just
She's a nice person.
Yeah.
She don't want to break up with a fella on Christmas Day.
She don't want to hurt poor Alan. Alan seems like a nice guy. He's got a Mexican restaurant booked for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
And there's a bit I really liked. Ellie, as a gift next door, Ellie gives Jake a painting of the house with the tree still in it. And it's a gift, and Jake's quite touched. And essentially receives it. It's like it's a painting. Yeah, he reacts gracefully, like, "Wow, this is beautiful on the tree." Oh, and he essentially then goes, "All right, walk off. You go off your foot." Yeah, just thanks for that. A house.
Thanks for that. You can go now. Yeah, I loved it, mate. I loved that film, and I'm looking forward to watching it again.
Yeah,
I've already got it on the list to watch.
Might be in the Christmas canon. Yeah, maybe.
I might watch it next. Like, I haven't watched anything since, and I might watch it again next.
Yeah, it's the last film I watched. So if I died, that's quite good, because the last film I watched was Noel Diary. It's good. I'd be happy. What would you give it out of? We're doing like, how many bulldogs would you give it?
5 bulldogs.
5 bulldogs. I'm going 4.5. 4 bulldogs and the front half of another bulldog.
All right. They've cut off at the stomach or cut straight down, like a cross section down the middle that way?
Across the middle there, thorax.
All right. Through the belly.
Yeah. I like to call it the dog belly.
Yeah. Thing is, if you do that, though, and the front end survives, it's going to be paralyzed in it because you threw its spinal column. Whereas that way, there's no surviving that shit. Cut the brain.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everyone for that. We do heartily recommend you watch it. It really took me by surprise. I was there with my kind of cynical pen, ready to eviscerate it, and it just left me feeling quite warm and that everything's going to be okay, maybe. So we recommend you watch that. It's on Netflix, as are all these films. We've got 3 more to do. I don't hold out quite as much hope for them as I have for this, but you never know. I'll be surprised again. But then the whole point of the show, already. Terrible Christmas film. So hopefully we'll be back to form next time. Great. Hopefully we'll see you then. Do watch this film, and let's be mates. See you in a bit.